In this video, I want to tell you a little bit about intermittent occupancy and the VA home loan. I'm going to define what intermittent occupancy is and let you figure out if you have an intermittent occupancy situation. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get approved in an intermittent occupancy scenario. So stay tuned to the very end of this video because there are a lot of things to unpack on this topic. So first of all, let's talk about this. What is intermittent occupancy? I say that three times fast, right? Intermittent occupancy is where someone lives a long distance from where they work. So typically, if it's over an hour commute time, and you have a situation where you have to get a second residence, and you're going back and forth between properties, that's what's called intermittent occupancy. And first of all, I want to say it is definitely different than a travel job. You have travel jobs where you stay at one location and then they send you off around the country to work, maybe a sales job, something like that. That's different than intermittent occupancy. This is where you have a residence that's different from where you work. And there are lots of reasons for this. So, for example, my dad did this. Years and years ago, my dad was a consultant with a very, very specialized computer program. And they maintained his residence with my mother here in the Dayton, Ohio area. But the program was so specialized that he would go to different cities. So he was in Columbus for about 2 years. He was in St. Louis for a year or two. He was in DC for a couple of years. And he would commute back and forth. That's intermittent occupancy. So he would be in the city where the job was for 4 days a week. And then he'd fly home to Ohio, see my mom, and then go back out. And he did that for years. And then, so that's considered intermittent occupancy. And the reason he did that is because he didn't want to uproot my mom, sell the house, go into some other town for 2 years, then resell the house, move back. That's a lot of hassle, right? And he wanted to maintain the residence in Ohio. And sure enough, when he retired, he came back to Ohio. Everything's good. So that is intermittent occupancy. That's the definition of intermittent occupancy. Now, the VA has very specific guidelines on intermittent occupancy, and there are some differences on whether it's an active duty situation or a civilian job, because they do want to prevent loan fraud. There are certain people that will try to do this to game the system, and they definitely don't want that. And so I'm going to go through this step by step.